Good morning, everybody. Matt Modak here to give you my favorite NBA player prop picks. Today, we're talking Wednesday, January 8th. I'm actually going to have 6 NBA player prop picks for you guys to lock in. Pretty juicy card that we have for tonight. I love all 6 plays, so I don't want to try and be picky and choosy about which ones I like the best. So I just went with all 6. Hopefully, we have a good day. Yesterday ended up being an incredibly frustrating day. So overall, we were down half a unit yesterday, which isn't terrible. The frustrating part is that I came out with 3 picks early on this YouTube channel. We got 2 of those 3 to cash, but one of them was plus 175, so it was very nice. Unfortunately, I added 2 picks later in the day that I really liked. It was DeAndre Hunter, 20 plus points, and it was Naz Reid, 15 plus points. Hunter only scored 17, and he missed a 3-pointer with like 40 seconds left. And Naz Reid only scored 13, and he shot like 6 of 16 from the field. 16 shots should get you 15 points. They were both L's. So we were down half a unit yesterday. On the season, that kind of continues, what's just been a middling season, no other way around it. Up a little bit over 2 units on the year. Been a lot of bad luck, been some bad reads. That stuff happens. Hopefully we can have an extended run now that NFL season is coming to a close. I would appreciate it if everybody could like the video, if everybody could comment, if everybody could subscribe. And then also if you could check out the links in the description of the video to support the channel. And one thing that I will ask is that let me know what you think in terms of if you like me being interactive and walking through the tools that I used to decide what I'm betting and why I'm betting it, or if you like it better with me just having it just me on the camera, no recording, and then just the graphic on the side. So the 2 options, screen share or no screen share. Let me know in the comments which one you like better, because I just want to make the best content that you guys enjoy the most. So I thought that you guys would enjoy it more if I was being interactive, but I've gotten some comments both ways. So just let me know. Regardless, I'm just going to go in order of the games. The first game here, Thunder versus Cavaliers. I actually have 2 bets in this one. The first bet that I have is Darius Garland. I took him over 2.5 rebounds. I got this at minus 115 odds. Looks like it's still best offered at minus 115 odds. So good to go there. This is all a play because of the matchup against the Thunder. What we know is that the Thunder are one of the teams that you want to target for rebound props. As you can see, just looking at Props Madness, they allow the second most rebounds just in general. That's just total rebounds per game. They allow the second most. A couple reasons for that. Number one, they played a decently fast pace, not the fastest pace in the NBA, but top 10. They just shoot a lot of jump shots, and also they give up a lot of offensive rebounds. So you kind of put all that stuff together, they allow a lot of rebounds. One thing they specifically do is allow a lot of rebounds to guards in general. Like if we just look at players similar to Darius Garland by position, 8 of the last 15 have hit their over. Now this only goes back 15, so looking at a sample size dating back to December 7th. But I can tell you they've given up the most rebounds to guards in the entire NBA, and by like 8 rebounds. It's like insane how many more rebounds they give up to guards. Now, looking at Darius Garland, whenever I'm going through whether I want to play something or not, I like to look at the player's average, I like to look at the player's hit rate, and then I like to look at the matchup. So the matchup, check, good to go there. Average, he averages about 3 rebounds per game. He's hit this over in 14 of his last 24 games. If you look at the entire season, he's hit this in 18 of 34, so 53% hit rate isn't amazing. But as you can see, there's a lot more green at the towards closer to where we are now to where we were at the beginning of the season. And another thing, what I like to do with hit rate and average, sometimes what happens in October isn't always necessary. So I want to look at the more recent games. So we're just kind of going to cherry pick this a little bit. We're just going to go since December 8th into now, because it really seems like he's been on a run since then. So if you look at the data, this is his last 11 games. He's hit the over in 8 of his last 11 games. So that looks a lot better. And what I like about his rebound chances is a lot of times he's getting, he only needs 3 rebounds. So let's keep that in mind. A lot of times he's getting between 6 or 8 rebound chances, like 7 here, 8 here, 7. I don't know what happened here. They're not even giving him any numbers, so I don't know what happened here. Low 1 here, 2, but 7, 5, a little bit lower, 6, and then 5. So more often than not, he's getting 6 or more rebound chances, which like a 50% hit rate is good to go with all we need for rebound chances and stuff like that. I don't always put a ton of emphasis on this, but it does seem like he seems to rebound more at home. As you can see in his last 11 games, he's also hit this in 8 of his last 11. And if you just look at every single home game, it's 11 of 18. Now, again, always know what to make of home road splits. Like, I don't necessarily think that he's just going to rebound more because he's at home. That's just kind of the way it's been. But I just like the fact that it's the matchup and he's been rebounding more. I know Donovan Mitchell is another good one for rebounds, but as you can see, just his over under is 3.5 super juiced, or it's 4.5, and like 10 of 24 games on the year, 11 of 34 on the year. Just not really good enough, in my opinion, to go with Donovan Mitchell. So that's why I didn't go with him, but he's probably going to hit, and I think it's good. So the first play officially is Darius Garland over 2.5 rebounds, -115 odds at DraftKings. In the same game, another rebound prop, I took Isaiah Hartenstein. I took him over 11.5 rebounds, which you can still get at +100, and that was the bet that I took as well. A lot of good reasons to like this one as well. For starters, he averages over 12 rebounds per game. So right off the bat, we know the average is there. The hit rate is also there. He's hit 12 or more rebounds in 13 of 21 games. And this is like starting right off the bat. I mean, he hit it in his first game playing 29 minutes. He hit it in another game playing 29 minutes. Like, he's hit this even when he's played lower minutes. Now, he hasn't been rebounding as much recently, but the rebound chances are still there. 19, 21, 20, 19, 20. Those are all good rebound chance numbers, especially for a center like him who doesn't have a lot of deferred rebounds. Like, if it's near him, he's getting it. And I also love the matchup. I mean, one thing you can do on Props Madness is look at players with similar rebounding profile. Literally 7 of 7 have hit their rebound prop over. And it's the guys that you would think of. Mark Williams, plotting big center like Hartenstein. Derek Lively III, same thing. Walker Kessler, Clint Capella did it twice. Jakob Poeltl did it twice. He had 19 rebounds against them. Kessler had 16. And even if we just go by position, just look at the center position in general. 12 of the last 15 have hit their rebound prop against the Cavaliers. And if you just think about that logically, it makes complete sense. I mean, who is Isaiah Hartenstein going to be guarding? He's going to be guarding Jared Allen. Jared Allen is not someone that you are worried about stretching the floor. So what that means is he's going to be closer to the basket, and closer to the basket means you're going to be closer to rebounds. That's just kind of how math works and how physics works. So Isaiah Hartenstein over 11.5 rebounds +100 odds at BetMGM is my second official play. Next up, I have a play here that everybody's going to hate, so I'm going to go ahead and just get this out of the way. I'm going right back to Malik Beasley. I took him 20 plus points. You can get it at +200 odds at ESPN Bet. So to get the negative out of the way first, a lot of people have bet Malik Beasley twice recently. It was this 12-point game against the Hornets. It was this 5-point game against the Blazers. Nobody bet him when he scored 23 against the Timberwolves. Now, unfortunately, that's just kind of the nature of the beast of how shooters, when you're backing shooters, go. Like, his mainline point prop is 16.5, but he's only hit between that number not very many times. Like, if we look at the over 16.5, he's hit that in 19 of 36 games. Over 20.5, 14 of 36. So 5 separate times he's hit between that number, which that in itself doesn't make it sound like it's super unlikely. But the reason why this is a play, 2 reasons. Number one, no Jaden Ivey. So without Jaden Ivey, he scored 20 plus points in 4 of 6 games, and not once has he landed between that number. So that's kind of the biggest reason why we're on Malik Beasley. No Jaden Ivey. We look at the games that he has hit, 26, 28, 26, 23, easily going over. And this is a good matchup. We're looking at the play types here against the Pelicans. They give up the 6th most points per game to spot up shooters. They give up the 8th most points per game via transition. That makes up, 60% of the points that Malik Beasley scores. Excuse me. Sorry, I said Pelicans. I meant the Nets. I don't know why I said Pelicans. The Pistons are playing the Nets. I don't know why I said that. But as you can see, players similar to Malik Beasley, 4 of 7 have hit their point prop over. And Caldwell Pope, 7.5 points was his over-under, 16 and 19. So it's pretty good success without Jaden Ivey, who's out of the lineup. I love this as a fade recent results. When you back shooters, 1 of 9, then 6 of 14. 1 of 10, and then 7 of 19, 7 of 13. 8 of 16. Like, the shots that he's putting up is insane. This is a Nets team that really struggles guarding spot-up shooters. They really struggle guarding catch-and-shoot shooters specifically. So Malik Beasley, 20-plus points, +200 odds. In my opinion, I'd much rather take the asking him to get 3 more points with a heavy shooter like he is, who's feast or famine, right? He's going to put up 20 points, or he's probably going to not even get to 17. So it's kind of similar to LaMelo Ball yesterday. It doesn't make sense, in my opinion, to take him at his main line. So I took him, obviously 20 plus. That is our 3rd bet. So I have 3 more for you guys. Next one, heading to this Raptors-Knicks game. I took Karl Anthony Towns. I actually took him over 3.5 assists. I was able to get this at plus 100. Looks like that is no longer available, at least on DraftKings. Props Madness doesn't have FanDuel, so you might be able to get a better price on FanDuel. But I love this look for the over 3.5 assists for Karl Anthony Towns. He's hit this only half of his games, but as you can see, a lot more green recently than at the beginning of the year. So I like the fact that as the season has gone on, he's been assisting a little bit more. Like if we look at his last 15 games, he's done it in 9 of 15, and it's actually 9 of his last 13, averaging about 4. But this is a play on the matchup, right? The Raptors, the way they play defense are kind of aggressive, getting the ball out of centers' hands, which means that centers can have a lot of assists against them. As you can see, 6 of 9 players with the playmaking profile similar to Karl Anthony Towns have hit their assist prop over. That's a very nice number. And what do we see? The most important thing here, who has done it twice? Karl Anthony Towns with 7 assists and 6 assists in the 2 games against the Raptors. Now, Cat is not really a potential assist kind of guy. Like if you look at his potential assists, it's 5 on 5. It's 4 on 5, 4 on 6, 1 of 3. 3 of 5. But these 2 Wizards games, he put up 30 points in both. So that kind of makes sense why he wasn't passing as much. But then 2 potential assists, 4, but then 10, 6, 9, 8, 5, 6. So because he's so close to the basket, and a lot of times when he gets a assist, it's closer to the basket as well. So a higher conversion rate, I'm not necessarily scared off by that. But it's just a good matchup, as we mentioned. And even if you go by position, 5 of 7 centers have gone over against the Raptors. And there's a lot of guys that, like, positional is always kind of weird with the NBA. But, like, Bam, I mean, 10 assists against them. Missed it last game, but at 10 the first time. But there's guys like Goga Batadze, who don't show up here, who had a lot of assists against the Raptors. There's guys like Brook Lopez, who don't show up here, who had a lot of assists against the Raptors. So it's honestly just a system play, taking center assist props against the Raptors. I honestly thought about laddering him up to 5+ as well, but I decided to not do it. I just went with the over 3.5 assists. I would still take it at minus 110. Hopefully you can get the plus 100 number, depending on when you are watching this, if it goes back, or if FanDuel has a better number. That is our fourth play. That is our 4th play. Our 5th one, we have Deni Avdija. I took him over. I actually got him over 16.5 points at minus 105. So to me, I would much rather take the 16.5 at minus 105 than spend minus 130. To me, it doesn't make sense to pay the minus 130 number. But this is another matchup play and another play based on a player not being out. The matchup against, this one is against the Pelicans. I think I just mixed that up. It's very good. Avdija, the top 2 of his in terms of play types, spot up, 7th most points, transition, 3rd most points. Spot up shooters can have success against the Pelicans. You know, we targeted Naz Reid in this exact matchup yesterday, and he did not hit his point prop, but he took 16 shots. So if you're telling me we need a player in that case to score 15 points on 16 shots, I'll take it. But in this case, with Deni Avdija, the player who is out is Jeremy Grant. And as you can see, without Jeremy Grant, he's hit this in 4 of 6 games, averaging 17.5 points per game. So this is another reason why I did not think it made sense to pump this player up, because the games he's basically, I mean, between 14 and 20, all 6, which is a pretty good floor, but also a pretty low ceiling, which is like 19, 17, 20. So to me, I just liked his main line at a way better price. But what I like about it is even the games that he went under, he still scored 16 points and 14 points. So it's not like he's even had a dud without Jeremy Grant. And another thing that I like are his field goal attempts. 12, 15, so 9, but that's low. We would hope for him to shoot more than 9, but at least he still went over in this time. Getting to the line 5 times helps. But then 14, 14, 13. So he's shooting double digits without Jeremy Grant in the lineup. And then if we just look at games where his field goal attempts is minimum of 10, I think it's probably going to be closer to 12. But if we just look at a minimum of 10, don't even look at any injury stuff or anything like that, it's 10 of 18 games on the year, so still a pretty decent hit rate. But as you can see, it's been hotter. It's been hotter recently. He missed this at the beginning of the year when his minutes were a little bit spotty, 27, 30, only 23. But if we look at more recent games, like we look at, let's go with the last 8 of the last 10 games in which he shot 10 field goal attempts, he scored 17 or more points, and he's averaging about a little bit, 18.5 is what we can call it. So it's a good matchup against the Pelicans team. And you just look at the zone versus play type, 7th most points per game via his play type. That's with the DPT. And then the 2nd most points per game to a shot zone. That's what the SZ means. And even there, like Defensive rating, third worst. Points in the paint, second worst. As you can see, majority of Deni Avdija's shots come in the paint. So I like this one, obviously, for Deni Avdija. Over 16.5 points is the official play at -105. And then our sixth and final pick of the video, heading to Spurs Bucks. I went with Damian Lillard, and I took him 25 plus points. So you could get over, looks like over 22.5 for -125, over 3.5 for +100. You guys know me. If I think that there's a good opportunity to pump it up, I'm going to do that. And I found a good opportunity, in my opinion, with Damian Lillard. On the season, he scored 25 points in 16 of 28 games. So the hit rate is there. And this is +140 odds at Bet365. I probably should have mentioned that. So Damian Lillard, 25 plus points. And at the end of the video, I'm going to have all of the picks on a screenshot. So if you just don't want to watch the video, you want to screenshot it, there you go. But it's 25 plus points, +140 at Bet365. As you can see, more often than not, if he's going over 22.5, he's scoring 25. Like, how many times has he landed between that number? So over 22.5, 19 of 28 games. That's actually a pretty decent hit rate. Over 24.5, 16. So it's 3 times he has hit between that number. But in this matchup, I like it a lot for Damian Lillard to go over. As I'm sure you can guess, it's a great matchup for him. And actually, this number changed. When I woke up this morning, the Spurs had given up the this number was 21. So obviously, the numbers change as the NBA.com updated their stats from last night. So it's not quite as good of a matchup as it was last night. They give up the, looks like this is the 11th most points per game to pick and roll ball handlers. That makes up 35% of the points that Damian Lillard scores. And and this number is the same. So this number is 21. So they allow the 10th most above the break 3-point attempts. And a lot of those above the break 3-point attempts come from pull-ups, which is perfect for Damian Lillard. We know that he likes to pull up. But if we look at games where he's played teams that are, let's go bottom 11, since that's what the Spurs are, in terms of pick and roll ball handling, he's gone 25 or more points in 8 of 12 games, hit it in the first 2, had a rough stretch, and has now hit it in what looks like that's 6 straight games against teams in the bottom 10, actually bottom 11, guarding the pick and roll ball handler. And then if we also look at teams that are not only in the bottom 10 guarding pick and roll ball handlers, but also in the bottom 10 guarding above the break 3-pointers, it's 5 of 6. So obviously we're filtering this to really make it look good for Damian Lillard. But the reason why is because the matchup is also good. I mean, the Spurs, again, they give up the 11th most points per game to pick and roll ball handlers, the 10th most points per game via above the break 3-pointers. That's the majority of the points that Damian Lillard, how he scores from pick and roll ball handling and from pulling up from deep. So 5 of 6 games when both of those things are the case. Those are my 6 official bets for this video. I appreciate everybody for watching. Again, make sure to comment and let me know your thoughts. Do you like this format better when I'm talking with the graphic of the bet? Or do you like the format better, what I was just doing, where I'm sharing my screen, walking you through the tools, showing you exactly why I am betting, what I'm betting, and instead of telling you the numbers, showing you the numbers. Let me know in the comments. Either way, 6 bets for you guys to lock in. Darius Garland over 2.5 rebounds. Isaiah Hartenstein over 11.5 rebounds. Malik Beasley, 20 plus points. Deni Avdija over 16.5 points. Karl Anthony Towns over 3.5 assists. And Damian Lillard, 25 plus points, rounding out our 6th and final bets of the video. Comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff helps me out a ton. Check out the links in the description to support the channel. Let's all win our bets tonight. Let's all bet responsibly and have a good one.